What's up guys, my name is Story Moore and I'm the owner of Storytelling Photography. I'm a Houston-based photographer with a passion for capturing beautiful memories that will last a lifetime. And today I want to walk you through how I edit one of my photos. Alright, I've got Lightroom set up behind me, but before we do that, I'm going to go make a cup of coffee real quick. Alright guys, let's go ahead and jump right into this. So I'm going to be editing with the Reverie and Oak Pacific Northwest back. Hey guys, future me here. I just wanted to stop for a second and give a shout out to the creator of these amazing presets, Rachel Ryder. I'll link her product in the description below. Alright, let's get back to editing. I'm going to start with preset number 6 because that's just my go-to preset for outdoor photos. And so you can see that it's changed the colors around just a little bit. I'm going to edit that lighting just a little. It's pretty well exposed already. And I'm going to zoom in here and I'm going to go for some skin tones. So I'm actually going to start by warming this photo up just a little bit. I really love really warm photos. I really like when those colors come out really vibrant. And then I'm going to add a little bit of magenta just to get that skin tone correct. Alright, next I'm going to go into our brushes tab. No, I'm going to crop it, JK. Future Story doesn't remember what she did in what order. I'm going to crop that just a little bit more. Alright, now we're going to go into our brushes tab. And I'm going to choose, which is my absolute favorite brush right now. It's called Brush on Levels. This pack has like 20 different brushes. They're all like insanely amazing. But I just like to brush this one all over my subject because it just really brings out the colors in them, and it like disconnects them from the background a lot. It makes them pop. So I'm just going to brush that just all over them. Alright, we're going to go back into our brushes tab and I'm going to actually pick another one. It's called Warm Light Leak. And I just like to brush this all over the top of the background where the sky would be. Right now the sun is covered by a lot of trees and everything, but this brush is really just going to make it look like that sun is coming through a lot more. Right now I know you're thinking that's a lot of light coming through there, but I am going to turn down the amount of this. But I just love the golden color in the background, and like the sun was there, but it was covered by the trees, so I didn't get that normal golden hour backlighting that I love. And so this is a way to kind of create it in post. Alright, I'm going to turn down the amount of that some. I normally turn it down to about 25. I feel like that's a good spot for it. And I'm going to go in with a linear gradient. With a linear gradient, you can add a brush. We're going to add Warm Light Leak. And you can pull it in from the corner or the top or the bottom or the side of the screen, and it will be the most intense right at the edge, and then it will get a lot softer as it gets towards the middle. So I'm going to turn that down. I'm actually going to duplicate it and put it on the other side as well. And I feel like this just really helps bring out the warmth in the background. That was a little too much right there. And then it looks so pretty in the sky, and I feel like it gives it that warm glow from golden hour. Alright, so next we're going to mess with our greens a little bit. I personally, for the grass, like to take the hue of the green up. It kind of gives it a little bit more of a cool tone, and then I like to take the saturation down and the luminance up. And I feel like it just creates a really like warm, light, and airy style. I'm kind of a mixture between light and airy and more of a warmer glow. Alright, I'm going to mess with the blues a little bit. I'm going to go back to the original photo and kind of see what their shirts originally looked like. Right now I'm getting a little bit of green in there, so I'm going to turn that blue a little bit more to the purple side. It's a little too purple, so I'm actually going to go ahead and change the aqua and take all of the green that I can out of that aqua, and then I'm going to change those blues just a little bit more. Alright, I'm going to take the luminance down just a little bit in the blues and really just try to get back to that original blue as much as possible. When a family picks out outfits for a photo shoot, you never want to end up changing the colors of their outfits because they picked those colors. So you don't want them to not come through as they chose them to be. Alright, I'm liking this photo a lot. I'm going to look back at those skin tones a little bit. Maybe add just a little bit more magenta. But I feel like this is looking pretty good so far. Alright, I'm going to warm it up just a tad. I like to use the keys on my keyboard, so if you hear that clicking at all, which I think you shouldn't because this is a voiceover and I'm in the future. Alright, this one's looking good. I think I'm going to full screen that here in a second and just go ahead and give it a good look over. I love shooting through objects, so for this photo I shot through a tree, if you can tell the little bits on the edges. Alright, I think it's all looking good. Actually, I'm going to go in and I'm going to brighten this little girl's face up a little bit. There's just a little bit of shadowing happening. So I'm just going to take a regular brush and brush it all over her, and then I'll bring up the exposure just in that brush. If you've never used any brushes or other tools for editing just a particular part of an image, then you definitely should, because it makes editing a whole lot smoother. Alright, that is looking really good. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to move on to the next photo. I'm going to set this one as a reference photo. So if I go all the way up there to the top and I click reference photo, then I go to my next photo and I'm going to click reference versus active, which is the RA right there. And that allows me to see my original photo right beside my photo that I'm currently working on, so that I can make sure all those skin tones get correct. You never want to have a gallery where your skin tones look different in every photo. So I'm going to go ahead and start with PNW6 again. Like I said, that is my go-to one that I use every time pretty much, or 7 sometimes. Alright, I'm going to work on those skin tones just a little bit, bring up that warmth a lot. This photo ended up being a little bit cooler than the other one. And then let's zoom out and look at those. That definitely needs some more magenta in it, if you could see how green those skin tones were. So we're going to bring up that magenta. That's looking a lot better. I might bring that up a little bit later. Alright, I'm going to go in with our brush real quick. Once again, brush on levels. This is how I start every time. And I'm just going to brush that all over the subject. So the feathering on this brush is turned up to 100%, so that when I'm brushing on a subject, you don't get harsh lines on the outside of them. Like if your feathering was all the way down, you could draw a picture with a brush because it would be very dense, but this is very flowy. I'm going back in with that warm light leak again. Like I said, I use this in pretty much every single photo. Ever since I discovered it, I fell in love with it. I don't know that this was the intended purpose of this brush, but it's how I use it. I'm going to erase that off of their faces just a little bit. I'm not too careful around their hair because I find it looks a little more natural if their hair glows just a little bit as well. But I don't want their skin to glow, so. Alright, I'm going to turn the amount of that down to about 36 this time. There's a lot more of an open space, so I feel like you can get away with a little bit more of the warmth. And then I'm going to bring some of that glow in from the edges. I think that looks so gorgeous in the background. I love when you have a wide open space and that glowing coming down. I definitely right-clicked on the wrong thing here. I was meant to right-click and duplicate. So I'm going to duplicate that mask and put it in from the other edge like I did earlier. Alright, that looks good. I always just like to do it at an angle, kind of make it feel like the sun is coming from behind them, which once again it is, it's just behind the trees. Alright, and I'm going to go down to my HSL tab and work on those greens again. Alright, future story here. I don't know what happened to that clip. It was supposed to be 15 minutes long and I somehow ended up with 8 minutes of it. So I hope you enjoyed those 1.5 photos that I edited when I was originally planning on editing 3. But y'all got the process, and if you have any questions, I would love for you to reach out to me. And I would also love for you to like and subscribe. Alright, thanks. See you next time. Bye.